Hey guys, I read a beautiful quote about teachers and students, and it says, I'm just gonna paraphrase it, but I will load it up so you can read as well. So paraphrase quickly. So it says, teachers are like gardeners, and students are like flowers. Right? That's a relationship that we have. Think of a gardener and a flower. Think of a teacher and a student. What is their relationship? A gardener is responsible for the flowers. A teacher is responsible for students. They both teacher and gardener, they need to make sure that this flower, let me speak about it. So the gardener needs to make sure all the time that this flower is well looked after. The gardener needs to make sure that all the time, this flower get water. The gardener needs to make sure that this flower, where it is the environment, it's nicely cleaned up, needs to make sure of that. The gardener needs to make sure that when this flower grows to that second level, they're gonna cut it and shape it nicely. Maybe get a Christmas tree looking like, or like looking after it, like just to prune it up. If one of the branches is falling off or got hurt and died, the gardener was gonna cut it nicely and maybe cover it, or maybe, I don't know, depends on the flower too. If it's just got hurt, the gardener will just tie it up, and then after a few times it's gonna connect beautifully. Right, that's the gardening flower. And what's the most powerful thing is the gardener can do a lot. But again, the gardener has limitations. He or she is limited. They can do everything in their power to make sure that this flower grows. They cannot push it to grow. The flower has to grow on its own. It has to grow on its own. They can make sure that they feed water, manure, and everything that needs to be fed, that needs to be given to the flower. But they cannot say, now you have to grow. They cannot force it up. They cannot do that at all. And the gardener as well. Does extremely well, like very well, when they have resources. The spade and all other tools to clean up and look after the hose pipe, so they can just pour water in there. Or when they have sprinkles, where you see short, the water pops up. Yeah, I think it's sprinkles. I'm not sure, but I think it's called it. So a gardener needs resources to make sure that they do their job. But that doesn't mean if the gardener doesn't have resources, then he cannot do anything. He can still do something, but that depends on the attitude of the gardener. Depends on how the gardener loves his flowers or garden. Depends on how much relationship he has with his flowers. You know, there's some gardeners, when they come in the morning, they speak to the flowers. They speak. You know, I don't know, but they say that when you speak, but some people speak to the flowers, then the flower connect and stuff like that. When you speak to the flowers, then they grow. The relationship that the gardener has with the flowers. Those are kind of relationships, and it's the same thing with teachers and their students. That's the same kind of relationship. Think about it, and how you as a gardener in your class taking care of your flowers. Think about your relationship that you have with your flowers. Think about the resources that you use. If you don't have resources, then what do? You get a bucket, a 5 liter, and you go down to the river to fetch water so you can feed your flowers water. What do? Sometimes you have to go beyond your comfort zone to make sure that this flower receives the basic needs. But remember, you have no control on forcing the flower to grow. You have no control of that. So think about those things, your relationship with your students, how much you care. Think about those conversations. Think about it and how you nurture it, and to what extent you want to have it. Is it just for that time? Because you're working at that place, at that park, at that work, at that institution where they have flowers. Once you're out of job, you cannot continue to be a gardener, then you have no relationship or help all those flowers. Think about those things. I thought this was the powerful quotation ever. And when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful quotation ever. So does. And to you, the hardworking teachers, we see you, we know you, and we appreciate what you do for us and the world. Peace to you and the family.